Hey guys, my name is Sediak and welcome back to Transport Fever 2, where we are continuing to build the UK's biggest transportation company. Now, recently I spent so much cash money moolah that I almost bankrupted the company, but we're going into quite a bit of debt. And last episode turned out to be mission make cash. Mission not go bankrupt, and it actually worked out pretty well. We set up some new cargo routes. We kind of looked at all the routes that were losing us the most money and we tried to rectify them. Even stuff like, and lines I had for ages, like our London food line right now, all of a sudden is now making big stacks of cash, boys, and I'm quite happy about that. But there are still a few lines that are losing quite a bit of cash. I want to try and make as much money as we can right now to maybe start making over $1 billion a day. And yes, I did say dollars, and yes, I know we're in the UK, and I know it's really weird, but it is what it is, boys. It is what it is right now. Now, one of our biggest other lines that are losing the most amount of money. There's a couple of lines that are losing a large amount of money right now. But one of the big ones is, and it just changed to second place, is the Belfast to Cork one. Now that's a passenger line that currently goes from Cork to Belfast, would you believe it? Now there's a reason why it loses so much cash, and you could argue a bunch of things about this, but we currently have 4 trains on there. You could argue, well, get rid of one of the trains and the other 3 trains will be kind of full all the time. But quite frankly, they don't really do much, and the places that they do go, there's not really good enough bus loops to pick people up. Now, Belfast is pretty okay. There seems to be a fair few people there. They also bring people to the airport as well, which you could argue we need some more planes to move more people. Dundalk right now, that's how you pronounce it, has got a few people waiting there. So has Dublin, but once you get to Waterford, the numbers start to dwindle, and they really start to dwindle over in Cork. Well, not as bad, but we do have the passenger harbour over here as well. Now, ways in which we can improve it and bring more people. We should be having hundreds of peoples on these lines. What we need to do is we need to bring people from the smaller villages and towns within Ireland somehow to these main routes. And that's what we're going to try and implement in today's episode, is bringing more people in Ireland to the Irish route to make more money, which will then make our river crossings a little bit more money in general as well. So if you are enjoying it, smash that like button down below. If you are new around here, make sure you do subscribe so you get notified when more episodes do come out. Thank you, appreciate it. So, our Belfast airport and the route from Belfast to Birmingham seems to need a few more planes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate 2 more planes. Boom, there we go. Now you got to be careful because you can overload it to the point where I've got too many and they can't land quick enough. So we've got to keep our eyes peeled on this. The planes themselves can only house up to 37 people, which is not good. So again, you don't want to completely overload your airport. You might have to divide them into 2 routes, or ultimately build a another airport somewhere in England that they can fly to that's not just Birmingham, to kind of distribute the load of people. But we've got a few planes there. We'll see how we get on. So how can we then bring more people over and in to our Cork to Belfast route? Well, let's start in Cork right now. It's the most southern tip where the least amount of people are currently going to right now. And we did, when we create this line coming up and round and out, as you can now see, the green route, we did have this extension that would have went straight ahead, but pretty much ends here. Now, since I did that, I've also built my food run, which is now taking precedent over the landscape of the train line, which some configurations might need to be had. I did actually need to redo this last episode, and I think it's now starting to make money, right? So our grain route, yes, it was a little bit of a hindrance, but we're getting back on there. So we can bring people to here, but also we need to make sure that Waterford has adequate amount of people coming here as well, because it will be a lost town if we don't kind of look after it. So what I'm thinking is, Cork can have a line that runs up to Limerick, to Galway, and into Castlebar. And then we'll do a line that goes from Waterford into Kilkenny, into Mullingar. Now, it does sound better for them to run maybe Galway, Mullingar into Dublin, but I'm trying to bring passengers to these 2 towns here. So when the train goes back and forth, it's constantly bringing passengers back and forth. So that's the idea. That is the idea. I don't know how well it's going to go down, but it should be pretty interesting. Now, the most difficult one will be building the Cork to Castlebar route, because we have to kind of integrate, or actually we don't have to integrate it, but we got this food line that's kind of running through, which can potentially become a slight pain. So I think ultimately we are going to have to think about slightly adjusting this line to be able to implement a bypassing route for a passenger train station. Yeah. It's all fun and games, boys. It's all fun and games. So it's only really this bit here we have to kind of integrate it in. So let's edit this and go with this. So let me just wait for that train to get out of here for a second, because we are going to have to do some serious reconfigurations here. And pause. So this station has a couple of routes coming in. It has a couple of routes, 2 routes coming from this way and a route going that way as it takes the food down to the harbour. So what we're going to have to do right now, we have to kind of configure this and completely change it all up. Completely change it all up right now, and it will be a shell of its former self. Well, not quite, but I make it sound more dramatic than what it actually is. So what I'm actually going to do, right, is I'm going to delete you, and then delete all this back here. Right, just give me a moment. Give me a memento, boys. And we're going to reconfigure it. Now, what I want to do is I want to have the bypassing route for the train line. So if I go to tracks now, I want a bypassing route for the train line, which if I do it like that, and even though we don't need a platform here, I'm going to put a passenger platform down just so it's a little bit more narrow. So that's our bypassing route there. Then what I'm going to do is put down a cargo platform, where we're then going to have tracks, 2 tracks, another cargo platform, and a track. Right, this will make sense momentarily. I've realised I've just done the wrong style of track there. So if I now delete this, oh snap, it's just deleted my building. Alright, hold on, boys. Hold on. Platforms. Let me just get my building back in. Otherwise, we're going to have some serious issues. So, buildings, cargo buildings is what we need more than anything. It doesn't really matter what size of building, but I would like to kind of have something that look kind of good. There we go. It makes no sense, but there we go. Right, let's reconfigure this right now. I can delete all this. And it will completely make sense right now. Because what I've got then is these 2 tracks there for the 2 lines coming this way, stopping both sides. And then we have that platform there with the track that way goes that way. So we're going to have to completely rejig the whole system in general anyway. But this will be a lot better that I can utilize it to kind of skadoodle through. And then, you know, it's like nothing ever happened, boys. It's like nothing ever happened. Right, can't add that in. So I'm going to have to delete these train tracks here. We're going to have to delete them anyway to change apart routes. So just delete it to there. We'll also delete this V, because we'll have to reconfigure it anyway. We'll delete it to the tunnel. There we go. Right, back to reconfiguring right now. And we should be able to complete this. So, nice long platforms, because we're going to have a bunch of cargo on these anyway. And we'll go to there. So, track-wise then, we're just going crazy with the track now. Right. As soon as I throw all this in, the better. Now, in the grand scheme of things, right, we don't need to use all of it. And all we're doing is utilizing this bypassing route here as our passenger line. So this train track here doesn't need to connect to the passenger line at all. It just needs to come into this little section there. We'll do our crisscross here. And then that line can be left alone. So I just want to double check that the 2 routes going into it. So I think they're called our Limerick ones, right? Limerick. Where's Limerick gone? Have I just scrolled past it? Limerick Grain. So there's the one that goes in that side. The other one, when it gets to Limerick here, it needs to go on to platform 2. And obviously, when it gets back to Limerick again, platform 2. Let me just double check that this one does platform 3 and 3. So they both come in, and they don't have to interact with anybody else or wait for anybody else except the 2 lines themselves. That's glorious. Now, we're bringing the train track out here into there. Now, I don't need to utilize that line for anything other than this. But at the same time, when I bring this train line in, I could maybe connect that to there and then do the V here to make it a little bit more efficient. But until then, right, we'll just throw this in here. So at least I can have the line running and not have to worry. So that will be then our Waterford food. So manage the line. And when he gets to Limerick on number 4, there we go. So I can press play right now and we're back to normal, like nothing ever happened or nothing ever changed. But all of a sudden, I can now utilize that station to bypass it. Now, the only reason I need to bypass there is because I don't want to build through here and go round and then up. It just makes more sense to do it like that. But I'm going to obviously come off it here, go through there, and then there. So I don't need to interact with any of this. Oh, we still got a red... We got a train issue somewhere. Oh, yes. Sorry. I forgot I didn't put this to electric. Is it electric or high speed? I think it's electric, isn't it? Yeah, we got to electrify it. My bad. Right. No. Still no. Oh! Hello. Wait. Hello? What's the issue? No electric path? I'll have you know. Right. It's all electric. I mean, it helps if I was selected on the electric. Right, sometimes you've got to, like, turn it round. To turn it back. There you go. And now it works. I don't know why. It's just, that's just how it happens. Okay, great stuff. So, let's now discombobulate all these towns and ruin them. I mean, improve them. So, I'm going to pause again right now because we are going to have to cause some issues. Now, I do have the option of creating an elevated platform, which keeps the towns intact. But an elevated platform, an elevated train track, an elevated station for these towns does not make any sense. So, unfortunately, we have to spend some money in deleting. We have to go into now build a building, a passenger station. We want 2 tracks, high speed, not too long because there's not going to be that many passengers on it. And that should be reasonable. Now, we do the exact same thing for an end terminus here. Or shall I do the passenger terminus here, but go on this side like that? Is this on a hill? It is on a hill. It gives us a really good radius of collecting people. But it's on a hill. I'm not sure yet about that. Let's just see how the train line connects in. So tracks, running this out. Yes, it's going to cause issues and delete some stuff, but I don't mind too much. Right, running that in, that's what the bridge becomes. Let's make it a little bit more modern. And let's go with that. Do you know what? I like that. I kind of like it. I do like that. So running that down then, all we've got to do... Now, it's only one train line running on this, so I don't need to worry about bypassing routes. I'm not going to have anything else going on. So we can just keep it super simple. Super simple. And then we've got no stress, no worries. There's no need to overcomplicate this line at all. That's done to there. Now, we've got to bring this connection into this bypassing route here. Straight through. We will crisscross anyway, even though we don't need to do the crisscrosses, to be honest with you, because, well, we need to do it at the end, because we don't technically need to do them, but we're going to do them anyway. So that's got to connect into here. So I just got to find a way right now to run a train line through here. Now, I am going to cause a lot of chaos and destruction, but the town and city and the villages, they will grow back. they will grow back. So I'm going to put you there. They will grow back, so don't worry too much. Delete you, and then we should be clear for takeoff. In we go. It's just on the off chance that they do crissy-crossy. I've got those in. Now this here to over there. So if I just run it how it naturally could go. Oh, it's a nice little bridge. I like it. I like it. Very modern. Very modern. Running you directly in. Now, they will crisscross the roads anyway. Over the train track. So they'll be able to access from one side of the town to the other. Right, that crisscross doesn't look like it wants the applesauce right now. Go a little bit longer. There we go. And straight in. We should have a crisscross over here anyway, which is just there. Now, that line can be implemented. It's not the prettiest. It is kind of slightly awkward, but it will get the job done. Now, what I'm also going to do on these platforms and stations is add a passenger building on the opposite side. So if I drop you just there, and if I do the same thing on this one as well, and that one doesn't need it, so we're all good. It's just so we can access this other side of the town anyway, and people can wait over there without any issues. Right. Normal road. Actually, let me cut across here first. Nope. Yep. I don't really know where to run with that, but we'll cut across like this. Just give the town some additional connections. Cut across there. So the station is now built inside of the town. That's all you need it to do. No fancy shenanigans. Nothing crazy. Just keep it simple. Going across there. Into there. Bring this all the way down. Move it back a bit because it can build buildings there. I could... Oh, we could drive there, which is fine. That's going to go in. Oh, the crissy-crossy is happening there anyway. To here. Right, I know it's awkward, and I know it doesn't look right, but the towns are a bit funky anyway, so we should be able to get away with it. We should be able to get away with it. Right, that's all done then. That's all done and dusted. I just need to quickly throw a train depot on this and then build the route. So let me just first build the route. So there to here. Don't need to go there. To there. And then into Cork. And then back again. And then we're done. So if I change this to red so we can see it. So we start in Castle Bar. And I'm going to change it to the other side of Castle Bar there. So coming down on the right-hand side, stopping on the right-hand side in Galway Branch, which is 2. Galway Branch, when it comes back, needs to be on number 1. There we go. And then, not this one, when it gets to Limerick. So Limerick, the second time, needs to be on number 1. Because I haven't really set up the signal, so they don't really know what they need to do. And in Cork, we'll use the other stop. So we're using both sides of the tracks. And let's just quickly set up the signals now. Because I can only see us really having one train to begin with. Right, no one's really going to be hurting us along this route. There we go. And then just there. So, 1 train, 2 trains. It'll probably be 1 train to begin with and just see how we get on. And even the train I do add on is going to be like super expensive anyway. So put you there. Tracks. Connect you in. So yeah, the train that I'm going to buy is going to be electric. And it's going to be this one. Is it this one? 198? Yeah. Which is 6.8 million a year we have to pay to run, maintain it and all that kind of jazz. It's an expensive train. Now, for a route like this, where you could argue you probably won't get that type of return, pick a smaller train, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. So buy the train, put it on, which will now be called line 1, because I haven't given it a name yet. And off you go. So what that's now going to do then, and why it's important, is it's going to collect all these people from Castlebar, Galway and Limerick and deliver them to Cork. So when a train comes down from Belfast, it hopefully should pick up a full load of people and then head back. Now, we also need to make sure that Waterford has a bunch of people waiting here as well. It will kind of really benefit our shipping route, but also mainly benefit the fact that when it drops people off to here, it can then pick more people up and take them back up. So that line's always making money, not just making money through these 3 cities. You know what I mean? So we'll see how we get on with it. We'll see how we get on with it. So we're in fast forward mode anyway. It will take a little bit of time. But also, it's going to create a growth spurt for these 3 towns as well, now that we have a train line implemented on them. We will need to set up a bus route to kind of collect more people, but for the most part, we'll keep it quite simple and let them do what they've got to do. Now, this one then should technically be the easiest route. Just simply setting up a line from Mullingar to Kilkenny into Waterford. But it's how we approach Waterford, which is going to be the interesting one, because we don't really have much space to work with. I've got the option of bringing a separate line in and a separate station underneath, but it's going to cause a little bit of disaster. I could make a line end here, an end station there, create a bus route that connects them all up, because I do need to create a bus route in Germany anyway, but then it does give us good coverage. Or can I bring a train line in so close that it technically does connect to it in general anyway? Right, pause, delete you. Let's just see for a second if I build an end station. I could just kind of connect off here and bend it that way and cut across and go in. That makes a lot more sense. But I do like the idea of having this multi-station kind of system. It does excite me. So, if I had that there, you see how the train line lights up? So it does connect. It does connect. So that would be quite cool. It reminds me of like the train station in Edinburgh, that does. So the fact that it does connect means that they can walk the distance, but I don't know whether to get it in a little bit more or a little bit closer. Like if I deleted you and then pulled the station into here. Just that little bit closer. Could be interesting, right? Could be interesting. This is a little bit over the top, isn't it? It is a little bit over the top. Oh, Kilkenny's a grid city. That could be the perfect city to grow. But, you know, here's me destroying it. Right, okay, let's get back to normal then. Back to normal, boys. Back to normal right now. Back to normal. So, what do we need to do then? What do we need to do? We need to place down the train station. And we'll place it just there. Delete everything. Why not? Why not? And then we need to connect these up. So tracks. Bringing this out. So it will tunnel in. But let me see what it will do like naturally if I kind of went like that. A lot of it is going to be tunnel anyway. I'll roll with that. Am I paused? I don't need to be paused in all of this, by the way. Oh, no, I do, because they're going to start building the roads across again, which I don't want them to happen. So if I try and do an early crisscross, which they don't like. There we go. There we go. And then do again here. La-di-da. So, it's just going to be an end station here as well. I don't want to beat around the bush. I don't want to do any extensions coming off it to go anywhere else, because all these little northern towns over there will probably go into like Dundalk, if that's how you want to pronounce it. So it's a simple route. So we'll do an end platform here. I could actually, no, do you know what? I'm gonna keep it like this. I won't do an area, just in case. You never know, okay? You never say never. I know I've destroyed a lot of the town right now, but never say never. So, is there bridges involved? No, just one big tunnel. Straight in. Crisscross. And do it over here as well. We'll never use these crisscrosses, but it's always good to have them in. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to also build a building on the opposite side to connect. I was wondering how big we can go with these buildings. Okay, not that big. Right, there we go. Additional connections. Did the same on this one. There we go. And then just do the usual I did earlier. Just kind of just extend the road network around it, so we can access it from all angles. I'll bring you down, connect you in. So bring you all the way out. Same, I was about to say same going this way, but it doesn't really work like that. Crossings, perfect. Okay, that crossing's not perfect. I'm going to delete this. Crossing. Okay, we have to make up our own crossing here. It's too much slope. What if I go diagonal? No, there's way too much slope going on. What if I do... Oh, okay. Super early. Okay, sweet. Right, that's all okay anyway. I can't cross there because we have our crisscross. I'll connect just there. Right, that's all that needs to be done. No beating around the bush. No funny business right now. That's all that needs to be done. So we'll quickly sort out signals anyway, just in case we do eventually implement multiple trains on these lines. Right, that side's done. Bam. Bam, bam. Bam, bam. Bam. Okay, play mode now. We can go to play mode. No issues. So line there to there to there to there and back again. I'll make it pink so it stands out. And making sure it does both sides. It's only that middle one you need to do both sides on, which is perfect. So, all we now need to do, boys, all we now need to do is get our rail depot down. Face it this way. Build the track going in. Buy a train. That's all we've got to do. So by you're the right one, aren't you? Yeah. And it's now line 2, because we haven't given it a name yet. And off it goes. So, additional cities, towns, villages connected to it. This is the only one that's technically not connected, but I like the idea of it not being connected, and they have to do a small walk down to the area. I like that. I don't know why. It kind of fills me with a little bit of joy. To give some people a little bit of misery. That's twisted. Limerick's got some people waiting there, so hopefully then, as time goes on, we should start to see more people being moved about. It will take time because the cities will also initially grow. So it's just a little bit of a time constraint right now we've got to wait for. Now, what's going on over here then, boys? Are we still seeing the vast amount of people waiting at the airport? Yes, it's getting busier and busier. Is there not a way? We might have to build a second airport in you know, the United Kingdom, in England. We shall see. So I've got a Birmingham airport. I could build like a southern airport down here. And then it should then... And I could also build a northern airport. We might need to build multiple airports next episode. We might need to build multiple airports next episode, boys. Just to alleviate the pressures on the Belfast one. Right, okay. Okay. Has this bounced back right now? Yeah, the transport numbers still need to increase, but that all comes from the shipping side of things. There is a fair amount in there to be shipped. There is another ship on the way. And is there a cargo train on the way down as well? It's just leaving. So I don't know if that train will get there in time. Probably not. Probably not. But yeah. We'll see what happens now. So, will we start seeing the numbers increase for our most deficit line, our worst profitable line to date? Will the numbers increase? I mean, they've recently started to increase slightly, but so has our expenses because I added an additional train on the route. But it will be interesting to see what happens now with the influx of new passengers to Cork and to Waterford. It is kind of exciting in many ways. It really is. So it's got 12 people on board right now. Drops a couple of people off, if that. And 38 people on board, all heading to Waterford, baby. Yeah. That's what I like to see. And that's what I like to see. People being moved. Now, I've just spent a fortune, and it does mean that these two new lines are going to be losing me money from the get-go. They are going to be losing me money. Like, tremendous amounts of monies. Look at that. Look at the difference right now. But we've got to give it time. We have to give it time, boys. We have to give it time. That's a Belfast to Cork train. Where is that train anyway? It's coming down. It's just there. How are you doing, sir, on finances? Are you making any cash yet? Are you carrying... Ooh! 145 people on board. Okay, we could see a big payday from this. We could see a big payday from this. Holy moly, that's a lot of people on board, isn't it? I wasn't expecting that many people. You've only come from Castlebar and Galway. Will it be fully loaded as it gets into Limerick right now? We're going to find out, boys. We're gonna find out. Come on. Come on. How many people does it pick up here? How many people get off is the first question. Do you know what? I'll take that. I'll take that. Now, as it loads up, it's got a full load of people to drop off, and I'm kind of excited to find out how much it actually makes as it gets into Cork right now. So, finances, the first year, which you can't really count the first year, 300k. This year to date, 300k. But we're about to have a big payday. I'm expecting at least $1 million. I don't know why, but I feel like I'm going to be disappointed if I don't get the $1 million. I feel like we're going to be disappointed. The line 1 has got 9 people currently waiting. Oh, I hope it gets $1 million. It needs to, actually, because it's like 5.8 million in expenses already. I know they're expensive trains, don't get me wrong. I know we've got to upgrade the towns around them and it will take time. I get all that, I get all that. We're investing into the future. So let's go wait for this train to now get through the mountain. Where is it? Oh, it's just coming in right now. How much does it make? Come on. 3.6. That's a saving grace. That's really good. That's real good, boys. Which it puts a lot of people then on the Belfast to Cork route. Obviously, a lot of people want to go to Cork in general anyway. But it puts a lot more people on the Belfast to Cork route right now. So when that train comes in, there's a lot more people it can pick up. It's only got 46 people on board anyway. This train now coming in. And it's going to have a full train going back. Oh, that's glorious. That is glorious. Now, what's happening over here, boys? Is that train coming this way or going the other way? It is coming towards us with 106 people on board. Nice. So do we see a lot of walking in between? You have to wait for a train to see the walking in between, don't you? But that train's now coming in. Is this making money yet? Not yet. It's already made, though, so far, 800k. So we're about to have another little payday come in right now. As the train heads through the mountains. Any minute now, we should see it. Any minute now. There we go. So it's only 100 people on board, though, so it's like half full. And it makes 1.3 million. We'll take it again. Exquisite, boys. Exquisite. Now, how many people are walking out to transfer over to the Belfast to Cork line? There's a lot of people now going to start walking out and then walk down to over here, which is absolutely amazing. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy right now. That line's heading back up north as well. Finances say that it's running at a profit at the moment, but it will, again, make another loss because it doesn't really make much money coming up and down here. A lot of people waiting there. So we got the essence there, boys, of having another full train coming back. Now, it's going to take a long time because it's a huge knock-on effect before the Belfast to Cork route makes money. It is a huge knock-on effect that you kind of have to wait for. Because you got to wait for the passengers to be, like, transported around and to, like, you know, go from here, there, and everywhere. But this train now going back is 180 people on board. Yeah. Now, the Birmingham to Brighton line is the one making the least amount of money right now, but that could have other issues in general. We could need to increase the frequency, but again, there's not enough passengers on the line. We will see what happens. We will see what happens, boys. It is quite exciting because now other people can be moved everywhere as well. Right, this bus route here could do with an extra bus. I'll put an extra 2 buses on. Get some people moved. What about the bus routes over here? Nah, they're okay. Bus routes over here? They're okay. A lot of people waiting though. What about the airport? There's more planes coming in, so I think we're going to be okay. I think we're going to be okay, so we should eventually start seeing the Belfast Cork route slowly dropping down the list. He says, boys. We'll see what this train does coming in right now. This is the one that's got 180 people on board, right? Yeah. So this is the finances of this train alone. Now, I'll be interested to see what happens here, because this is technically the first train to pick up the vast amount of people on our 2 new lines. So this is where I mean where it's going to take time. It's going to take time to trickle down the passengers. So in comes this train. And I want to see the big jump it makes in revenue. Then again, we don't know how many people it's going to unload here. 2.9 million. Wow. That was actually pretty good. And it's got 114. It's now moving on to the next destination. I'm quite impressed with that. Right, this train's now coming back. 131 people on board. So that would have been coming back before the other train has made its way down, right? And it's got 198 people on board right now. So when it drops down again, if it does get here before this year ends, this financial year, then it's made a profit. Oh, that's so good. That is so good. Right, we'll keep a track on that in just a moment. But there's definitely more passengers being moved right now. That train's coming back with another 109. That is not far off. That's on the way to making a profit, that line. Just saying. Just saying. There's a train now about to come in. Here it is. It's very slow. It's very slow. Any moment now. Any moment. And how much does it make? Bearing in mind it's only one stop over and it's not the most populous place it needs to go to. And it's got 171 now taking back. Yeah, that Belfast route is going to start making some serious cash now. My deficit is now 3 million. It was like 6 million at one point. So we're slowly bringing the deficit down. Finances, you could argue the profit is on a slight incline, maybe. It is a new financial year now, so we'll see what happens with that. The Birmingham to Brighton one is not making much cash. What's going on with this one? Oh, that's on the edge of making cash. Could it be I got one too many trains on that route? Maybe. Maybe. Now, the route coming down to here, line 1, did it actually get there in time? No, it didn't. It didn't get there in time to kind of class it as a profit in the financial year. But that's going to do us proud, that route is. It really is. This one here is going to take some time anyway. But again, it's not far off. It's a lot better than I was expecting it to be. Right, train coming down right now, 133 people on board. So hopefully we do see a consistent amount of money being made. People here are going to be getting on and off at the airport. So 1.4 million, but it should pick up a fair amount of people. Yeah, 133 people. Damn, son. It just takes time. That's all it does. Now, it's now 4th in the list. It's now 4th in the list, so it's getting lower and lower. Oh, it dropped down quite considerably. Right, that's on the turn now. That route is now on the turn. It's on the turn. It's actually now making profit. Where is it gone? Excuse me, who said you can make profit? Where's it gone? I can't find it now. Who said you can make profit, boy? Where did it go? I don't know. Oh no, it's losing money now. Just like that, we've turned that line around. Now, the Birmingham to Brighton line is another line that we'll have to look for in the future. That's the route that comes down to Brighton through London, which is kind of a little bit annoying in many ways. Our London loop is looking pretty busy right now. But then, you know, there's many reasons to why. I might have one too many trains on that route, which is why it's making a loss. Because we're not quite filling that last train by the capacity side of it. So I might have to get rid of a train on that. We'll kind of take a look at it next episode anyway. The London loop is looking pretty busy. That there is a line that doesn't make money. Even though the train is going to be so filled to the brim every time. I think that's is that the train there? Train 59? Yes. But I think it might be a case of I need to get some cheaper trains on that. Because it could make money. It could make money. It's just it doesn't make money. And we're losing passengers. And all the passengers are transferring from one line to the other. But I'd like to see how much money this makes coming in right now. Easy, easy, easy. Does it fully unload as well? So the answer is probably not, because they're probably going to want to go into the next platform. But it does load up a fair few amount of people. Let's not, you know, beat around the bush right there, boys. But this line could make cash. It's just the wrong type of train on that route, I believe. And then one too many trains on the Birmingham to Brighton route, which I'm probably going to get rid of one. We'll get rid of one of the oldest ones. I'm going to manage the vehicle. I'm going to sell it. Which means that the other trains then will be a little bit more full, because they're now having to pick up the slack of a train that no longer exists. And hopefully that makes a little bit more cash in the long run. At least the expenses will be a little bit less. Limerick Grain is not doing very well. The money's kind of dropped down a little bit on that route. Now, you could argue... oh no, this is upgrading, so it will kind of need more. No, I think we'll be okay. I think we'll be okay, boys. Worst case scenario, I can combine those two lines into one line. And then we'll always be making money. Right, train is coming back down right now on all of our new lines into Cork. It's making profit on the year so far. Hopefully it gets back down here in time before the year ends. Right, I think we've turned it around. I think we've slightly turned Ireland around. I can't even see the Belfast to Cork line right now. Where is it on this list? It all keeps moving so quick, so as I scroll down, it could jump back. Oh, there we go. Oh, snap! 2.8 million in profits so far. Oh no, that's a Scottish loop. Sorry, Belfast Cork. Not in profit right now. It kind of is, but it kind of isn't. But the money's going up, which is a good sign. A very good sign. Right, I think we'll end it here then. So, what is our profit on the chart? So, we recently had the biggest income ever at nearly 600 million at 593. Our previous year was a lot less than that, but now we've put some more systems in place where the income should now start to become a little bit higher. And time will tell. We're trying to push as much as we can. We are trying to push as much as we can. And we will get there. We will get there. We're making nearly 60 million a year in profit. You can't argue at that. You cannot argue that. That train's now heading back, so finances, yeah, it definitely made a profit on the year. Right, this is good, boys. This is good progression. Next episode, we're going to look at more airports. They seem to be a good money maker for us at the moment. If I check the airport routes, finances on this, always making cash. I'm not too sure on the other one, though, the Belfast, Birmingham. There's not many people who want to go to Belfast. They want to get out of Belfast. But that route's making profit as well. So, the money's there. The money is there. We just need to divide it a little bit evenly. And just see how we get on. Right, boys, we're going to end it here anyway. There's a lot of chaos going on right now on a lot of the other routes. We'll try and build some more airports next episode. And we'll also try and look at the Birmingham to Brighton line. Because I feel like that is being slightly hindered right now. Even though it made profit last year. This year, not so much. Not so much. So... we're going to check out what's going on. We're going to see how we can improve it. It might be a case of like somewhere like Cambridge right now needs a wider selection of people to be moved to it to, you know, increase the amount of passengers on the line. It could be sorting out that loop a little bit more so it gets more passengers in the London stops. I don't know. I have seemed to have taken a train off. So is it kind of brought it down from the top? The two, Birmingham to Bournemouth and Birmingham to Brighton, seem to be a little bit tasty, but the numbers aren't really that high. It used to be 6 million deficits, now it's down to 2 million, so we are making more money on those lines, but we've got to keep on top of them. We've got to keep on top of them, boys. Until next time, I see you all soon. So, goodbye.